itu nama CV nama adanya ini paper
bisa banget kayak dina
dina anu link Pak Budi link paper aja ya mah cek paper lain iya kalau LMS schooling tuh psikologi
invitation ini kalah
acan saya
dina ieu asana sia dina
oh iya ini mah baru dapat cek belum
This meeting is being recorded.
cek 1 2 Eko cek 1 2 cek Assalamualaikum selamat pagi dan selamat datang kepada seluruh peserta seminar cek selamat pagi dan selamat datang cek 1 2 sama aja cek 1 2 cek 1 2 aku ngambil suara dari mana nih yang itu besarin ya cek 1 2 bisa Cek. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kami ucapkan selamat pagi dan selamat datang kepada seluruh peserta seminar International Second PVJ. Kami ucapkan selamat datang kepada Dr. Yiying. Hello, good morning, Dr. Yiying. Telah hadir bersama kita pemateri kita pada hari ini. Ya, telah hadir juga bersama kita Dr. Yusliza. Selamat pagi, selamat datang.
Selamat pagi, Ibu.
Selamat pagi.
Thank you for invitation.
You are very welcome. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you all. So I'm now preparing my camera. So I will on once it's ready about 1 to 2 hours later.
Oh, gimana tadi? I cannot see your picture here. Could you please open up your camera?
Okay, I'm not ready yet. So later I will on my camera.
All right.
Okay, all the best, Ibu.
Later I'll tell you your schedule.
All right, no worries.
All right.
Thank you so much. All the best.
You're very welcome.
Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya merupakan universitas terbaik di Priangan. Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya merupakan universitas terbaik di Priangan Timur berdasarkan peringkatan Dirjen Dikti Kemendikbud. Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya terdiri dari 3 fakultas dan 13 program studi. Semua program studi sudah terakreditasi BAN PT dan LAMPTKes, yaitu program studi D3 Keperawatan, D3 Kebidanan, S1 Keperawatan, S1 Bimbingan dan Konseling, S1 Pendidikan PGSD, S1 Pendidikan PG PAUD, S1 Pendidikan Teknologi Informasi, S1 Pendidikan Seni, Drama, Tari, dan Musik, S1 Teknik Elektro, S1 Teknik Mesin, S1 Teknik Pertambangan, dan S1 Teknik Lingkungan.
Selain memiliki kurikulum kekinian dan berorientasi masa depan, dan untuk mengasah kompetensi mahasiswa, UMTAS mempunyai laboratorium lengkap di setiap prodinya. UMTAS cerdas, berkualitas, dari lokal untuk global.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Dr. Ahmad Konid Ali Daud MA, Rektor Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. Alhamdulillah, kami Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya bersyukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, karena pada hari ini UMTAS menjelang tahun kelima dan akan menyelenggarakan wisuda angkatan kedua untuk mahasiswa Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. Selama pembinaan Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya dalam rentang waktu 5 tahun ini, alhamdulillah apa-apa yang dilakukan oleh Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya mendapatkan respon yang positif dari seluruh stakeholder Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. Di samping secara bertahap jumlah mahasiswa terus meningkat, juga alhamdulillah prestasi-prestasi yang diraih oleh Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya cukup menggembirakan. Peringkat akreditasi BAN PT 70% dari prodi-prodi yang ada di Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya sudah terakreditasi baik atau B. Nah, atas dasar kinerja para dosen, para mahasiswa, dan seluruh sivitas akademika dan sinergi dengan seluruh stakeholder, alhamdulillah Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya di tahun kelima ini berdasarkan perankingan dari kementerian, di tahun ini Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya mendapatkan ranking nasional yaitu 218 ranking nasional, dan untuk Priangan Timur di antara universitas baik negeri maupun swasta di Priangan Timur, Universitas Muhammadiyah adalah mendapatkan ranking yang pertama. Sedangkan di antara Universitas Muhammadiyah di Jawa Barat dan Banten, Universitas Muhammadiyah dan Asia, alhamdulillah Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya itu mendapatkan peringkat yang pertama. Demikian, sekali lagi saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada kita semua, kepada seluruh stakeholder atas segala kerjasama dan sinerginya. Semoga kita semua senantiasa diberikan yang terbaik oleh Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Demikian, billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Check. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second Paris Panjava International Seminar on Health, Economics, Social Science, and Humanities 2021. Today is the second day of a series of Paris Panjava International Seminar hosted by Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. For information, all participants are requested to write their full name and institution in their Zoom account. And we also ask all participants to be able to follow the event from the beginning to the end of session. Activate the video camera during the event and turn off the microphone for the smooth running of our event today. Thank you very much for your attention. While waiting for the preparation, let me greet our keynote speaker who has attended the Zoom. Good morning, Dr. Sigit. Assalamualaikum.
Good morning, Miss May. Waalaikumsalam.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Sigit.
Yes.
All right, thank you for your attendance.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Dr. Ying has joined with us. Good morning, Dr. Ying.
Good morning, everybody.
Thank you for your attendance, Dr. Ying. All right, thank you for joining us today. The program will start soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to present to you a traditional dance performed by Sendra Tasik students of Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. Please welcome Anindya Guna Dance. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Excellencies, Rector of Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya, Dr. Ahmad Konit Ali Daud MA, Honorable the Chairperson of the Institute for Research and Community Services, Dr. Mujiarto STMT, Honorable our keynote speakers today, Dr. Yiying SS Emlit MPD from Bina Nusantara University, Dr. Haji Gamal Nasir bin Haji Zakaria from Sultan Hasan Al Bolkiah Institute of Education, Professor Dr. Kusnanto SKPMKes from Universitas Erlangga, Dr. Sigit Hermawan SE MSc from Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo, Dr. Khairul Anwar MPD from Universitas Muhammadiyah Gresik, Associate Professor Dr. Yusliza Muhammad Yusuf from University Malaysia Terengganu. All distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Meliana, and I will be your moderator in the second day of International Seminar. Welcome and thank you for joining us in the second Paris Banjava International Seminar on Health, Economics, Social Science, and Humanities 2021, organized by Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. This event co-hosted by Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sorong, Universitas Muhammadiyah Gresik, Universitas Muhammadiyah Palangkaraya, and Sekolah Tinggi Teknologi Muhammadiyah Cilengsi. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today's seminar theme is Innovation for Better Life in the Post-COVID-19 Pandemic. This theme is very interesting to discuss, as we know that COVID-19 pandemic is the greatest challenges for us, and it has changed many aspects of life on health, economic, social science, and humanities. Therefore, we need to add or share the knowledge to find out some innovation for a better life in the post-COVID-19 pandemic. So that's why today we will share and discuss theoretical and practical knowledges about innovation on health, economics, social science, and humanities. Therefore, in this great event, we invite many professional speakers who are expert in their own fields. And in today's seminar, we will have two sessions. The first session, we will have three keynote speakers. And in the second session, we will have four keynote speakers. After that, in the end of each session, we will have the discussion session. So I'd like to inform you to all participants in advance to pay attention on the topic presented and being active by sharing the ideas or asking questions by writing down in the chat box. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now let's begin the first session by introducing our first keynote speaker, Dr. Yiying SS Emlit MPD from Bina Nusantara University. Okay, I believe Dr. Yiying has online with us and he's ready for his presentation. But let me introduce her first. Dr. Yiying is a lecturer in Chinese Department of Bina Nusantara University. She also has had in international partnership and collaboration and as a translator for China and Taiwan University and Chinese company. She accomplished his PhD in curriculum development, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. She also conferred as a professional certified lecturer in Social and Humanities from Ministry of Education, Republic of Indonesia on July 2010. In addition, she conferred as professional certified reviewer from Ministry of Technology, Transfer and Higher Education, Republic of Indonesia on September 2011. She has many research experiences and also write many books. One of her books published in 2021 is Relevansi Kurikulum Sastra Cina dengan Tuntutan Dunia Kerja. Meanwhile, one of her recent publications is about virtual Mandarin learning tools for interactive online learning. All right, without further ado, please welcome Dr. Yiying SS Emlit MPD. You have 30 minutes for presentation. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the moderator. Can you hear my voice? First, thank you
Yes,
for
sure.
the rector
It's
of
very
the
clear.
Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya for the invitation and especially for the Mujiarto. Because I have problem with my laptop, please I asking for the committee to share my PowerPoint, please.
All right, Dr. Ying, we can help you to share the PowerPoint.
Okay, thank you so much.
I hope you don't mind to wait a little longer. Dr. Ying,
Yes, of course.
this is the process.
Mm.
Excuse me, doctor.
Yes,
Could you see the PowerPoint?
yes, okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Can you make it bigger, please? Okay, today I'm just sharing about the strengthening Indonesia Thai population under new policy through technology transfer. This is totally my self-experience. Yeah, because since 2013, I have a good collaboration with the university in Taiwan, and I got a research grant from the Ministry of Education Taiwan about Taiwan studies. So today I just want to sharing for everybody about this, how we can make a good collaboration with Taiwan. Please, the next PowerPoint. This is the outline of my presentation. And next. Okay, first, maybe someone would already know about new Southern policy. This is Taiwan government Southern policy to improve its soft power by the promoting society cooperation various field, including education and tourism. Since 2016 until 2020, to encourage military and bilateral cooperation with Asian and South Asian countries, Taiwan built the strategic partnership with the 18 countries, 10 Asian members, 6 South Asian countries, and as well as Australia, New Zealand, covering for the touch for promote economic cooperation, having a talent, and skills with the focus in people, research sharing, and then Taiwan soft power to promote bilateral and multilateral cooperation in culture, tourism, medical care, technology, establish regional relation with the partner in order to share research Taiwan plan to build connection in Taiwan Science Park and Research Institute and promote exchange to intelligent disaster prevention technology. Since I know since 2016, I have a lot of scholarship for the Indonesia student from the Taiwan government. that the student can go to the internship and then to work in the Taiwan. Next. This is I want to introduction about the science park. Because Indonesia government now encourage us, the university, to build a science park. You can learn from Taiwan, especially the Taiwan have a good high technology, and this COVID situation can help us how to the high tech can help the Indonesia as the solution to the face of the COVID-19. Taiwan is the one of the world to leading procedure of the information communication technology procedure since 2018. Taiwan has taken a proactive approach to the development of the emerging technology by established science park. This is the have 3 science park in the Taiwan. They spread in the 3 area under the Ministry of Science and Technology. This science park aims to focus academic research on the need of industry as Taiwan release. And this science park already have a collaboration with the academic. So we can learn how the academic industry and government collaboration together. This is the same idea which our Ministry of Education promote to us. Collaboration with other, and then Merdeka Belajar, like an internship. So the science practice development under the Industrial Technology Research Institute, I3 National Applied Research Laboratories, and Institute for Information Industry as a technology powerhouse by conducting research in private sector with research and development and exploring the new technology got full support from the government. I have been visit I3 2018 before Corona, and I have discussed with the person in charge how they make collaboration between university and industry. I can explain the next. This is the next presentation. Okay, this is the purpose of my study. In today's presentation, I want to explain how to strengthen relation between Indonesia and Taiwan within the framework of the new southbound policy. This paper invites to the 3 parts. This is first, soft power link, second, the regional market, and the third is transfer technology. Next. Okay. According what I said, I mentioned before, this is my research adapted qualitative study. And from my conversation and website containing new southbound policies, science park. This study conduct interview with the primary data, interview the student who got scholarship on the Taiwan University, and interview with the person in charge as I3. Next. This is about soft power links. How Taiwan, they have 5 pillars. According to soft power link, one of the distinct features of Taiwan is in addition to mastering advanced technology, is their progress in the agriculture. Indonesia need to take advantage of the conducting agricultural cooperation with Taiwan. In mid-2018, Indonesia and Taiwan worked together to develop an integrated farming system from the upstream for the downstream 400 hectare land in Karawang. This integrated agriculture project has been started since mid-2018, and then Taiwan transfers the knowledge and technology to improve the agriculture system from the upstream to downstream, with expectation to increase quality in agricultural products. We can find this information when we search in Google, can find Taiwan collaboration Indonesia. Agriculture Karawang. You can find the whole information from this. And next. Yeah. Another of our links, the National Work Meeting is attended by Ministry of Republic Indonesia, Ministry of Research Technology, Higher Education, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Public Works, and other ministry. In this event, we have the title to invite the professor from the Taiwan to share the Taiwan technology, the knowledge for this event. It held in the Sumatra Utara, Usu. And then next. About the linking regional market, based on the data Investment Coordinating Board, BKPBM, until the quarter of 2017, the realization of Taiwan investment in Indonesia reached 18.9 million US dollar with the total project accounting total 326. This is mentioned that how good the relation, economic relation, because between Taiwan and Indonesia, with the 84 project Taiwan investment in the land of the focus the government economic development. So next. This is the part of the technology transfer, import technology. As we know, Indonesia is island, a country. We have more than 10,000 islands. And then when I visited to Taiwan 2019, because before Corona in April 2019, I visit the ministry, MPB, Maritime and Port Bureau. And then from this Maritime and Port Bureau, I got information that Indonesia, that Taiwan, their maritime shipping for most of the supply, and this geographic, I think, similarly with Indonesia. The skill in human research, and I think we can learn from Taiwan because they have a port, the integrated port, and then the domestic. It just, however, the volume in international cargo loading that is increased in Indonesia, but I find that the system is not integrated like Taiwan. They already use the drone for the technology, technology. Maybe we can learn from this, and Taiwan can teach us to how to technology transfer for the port technology. This is a Maritime and Port Bureau, and this another is a Taiwan port in the picture that I show my presentation. So next. This is about the port technology. The high floor of the domestic goods traffic in Indonesia opens the opportunity for Taiwan to offer the cooperation with the constructor of port Indonesia. Taiwan port have advanced infrastructure and information technology to management system. Port in Taiwan is a port with global maritime shipping trends, with feature completed port facility and variety of the service. The port Taiwan is contribute of the working on the logistic with the tourism and property management through the size of most technology. So as President Jokowi have a vision and mission to make Indonesia with the world maritime axis, poros maritim dunia as we know, and the principle of an equilibrium stage adapted by Indonesia have a major of the defense and the system of the port can be built. Therefore, Indonesia needs to learn from Taiwan how to manage in port with the technology. So when I visited the Kaohsiung port, I find that the port technology is very, very modern because the export things They don't need to come to they just stand in the port and then they can send directly to the abroad, like to America. And then every system, every letter, they want like a one-stop service, but it's one-stop service is very different with Indonesia. And this technology, I think if Indonesia government have opportunity, we can transfer to discuss how to implement it in Indonesia. As I know, we just built the international port in the Natuna. Before we build the international port, maybe we can learn how to design the blueprint from the port, so we can make a like integrated port. Learning from Taiwan. Okay, next. This is about high skill transfer. High skill industry such as integrated circuit industry, semiconductor industry, and then biotech technology, currently the main economic activity. Cultivate more people with the skill need to support the new southbound policy of such that people need skill. Because Taiwan lack of younger people, so Taiwan need Indonesia. So Taiwan give the scholarship for the younger Indonesia, for the student Indonesia to learning the high skill. Since 2018, more than 500 Indonesian students from the unprivate family have received the scholarship from the part of the course for 4-year internship in Taiwan. And the industry in the contact lens, plywood, electronic software. The aim of this program is considered to achieve because this is synergy between Indonesia, Taiwan Ministry of Education and Taiwan University and Industry, high-tech skill from Taiwan to Indonesia. But because the language problem, this program is not really smooth. As we know, most of people, Taiwan people, they speak Mandarin or they speak dialect like Fujian. And then when our students come to Taiwan, they cannot speak Mandarin. They depend on the middleman, we said perantara, to speak with the company, with the university about the problem. They don't have enough the knowledge about Taiwan, about the Taiwan industry. This is make the miscommunication. When I visit the Kamar Dagang Indonesia in Taiwan, this is Indonesia representative in Taiwan, at the problem because the misunderstanding, because the language. Me as the Chinese department language teacher, I think it's very important to prepare the student who want to go to the Taiwan Mandarin language before they visit Taiwan or they study abroad in Taiwan. So they can survive. They don't depend of the middle people, of the another people. Okay, next. Okay, this is the last time. It's a conclusion from my presentation. Taiwan and Indonesia are also aware of both country needs to foster long-term relation, and that new southern policy must touch the interests of Indonesia young generation. The young generation have different challenges from the aspect of law, diplomacy, international relations, economic threats, and human relations. The Indonesia government need to learn from Taiwan to seek the concrete collaboration between government, industry, and university in developing a country either in any line, both in terms of economy, industry, science. Until later, there will be no gap between the progress from the academic conceptual side and application that will later applicate in the field. Taiwan divides each of these mainstream sectors into their religion in a fully decentralized manner. although it's still in the main control of the government, and also third party, mainly of university in maintaining their main target planning corridor. This division is known as science park concept, which is spread various places in Taiwan. Therefore, the two governments need to work hard to people skilled work from the transfer of technology for the regional development and increase bilateral cooperation. Next. Okay, this is about our research, my team from the IT department, film department. We have a multidisciplinary department from in one team. So thank you so much. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for excellent presentation, Dr. Ying, about the strengthening Indonesia-Taiwan relation under new southbound policies through technology transfer. So, if there are audience, check. Excuse me. Check. Excuse me, I repeat. Yeah, so if there are any audiences who are interested with this topic, make sure to share or ask something by writing in the chat box. Then we will discuss it in the discussion session. Excuse me, Dr. Ying, do you mind to wait until the discussion session?
Yes, of course.
All right, thank you very much. So next, I'm honored to invite as the second keynote speaker, Dr. Haji Gamal Nasir bin Haji Zakaria from Sultan Hasan Al Bolkiah Institute of Education, Brunei Darussalam. But I apologize that Dr. Gamal hasn't joined with us. But let me introduce him first. I want to read his CV. Yeah, Dr. Gamal is doctorandus, BA honors, Islamic Education, Advanced Diploma in Education, Master of Education in Teaching Arabic to Non-Arabic Speaker, and he got PhD in Islamic Education. And his research interest is about Islamic education and teaching Arabic as a second language. He has many publications. It's almost 40 publications counted from 2010 until 2020. And most of them are Scopus Index. Dr. Gamal is also a writer. His recent book entitled Pendidikan Melalui Kisah. Some of his books put in the international libraries, such as Yale University Library, USA, in 2010, and in Universitat Karlsruhe. So I'm sorry for the mispronunciation because this is actually the German. This is the library from Germany, 2012. And in Cornell University Library, USA, 2013. Yeah, that's very awesome. And for your information, Dr. Gamal always invited as a keynote speaker in the international conference in many countries such as Malaysia, Australia, and Indonesia. And his recent research project is about tahap profesionalisme guru pendidikan Islam di sekolah menengah di Brunei Darussalam dan Malaysia. It is a research collaboration with UKM, UPM Faculty Research Grant. So we are still waiting Dr. Gamal to join with us. Yes, I need your apologize for the technical problem because Dr. Gamal has a technical problem. He wait the Zoom, so we need to take time. Yeah, Dr. Gamal is processing entering this room. Yeah, Dr. Gamal has joined the room. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Gamal.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right, finally you are entered the room. So welcome in the second Paris Panjava International Seminar. Actually, this is your turn to present your presentation. And just now, I have read your CV. So maybe without further ado, please welcome Dr. Gamal to present his presentation. Time is yours.
Thank you. Please help me to show my slides.
Actually, we haven't received your email.
Actually, I sent already.
Oh, you have sent already.
Yes, through Pak Budi. Pak Budi Hendrawan.
Pak Budi Hendrawan.
Yeah.
All right. There is your email. So we need to take time. Yes, Dr. Gamal is already.
Okay. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wa salatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the organizer to invite me for sharing the idea and also the experience from the Brunei Darussalam facing the so to my pages and this time, my title is Empowering Mental Health and Education for a Better Life After COVID-19 Pandemic, Brunei Darussalam's journey. So before we go further, okay, yeah, the next slide, please. Okay. Before we go further about my presentation, so I would like to share that in Brunei Darussalam, currently we have 250 cases on the COVID-19. So since March last year until today, there is no local new cases, and Alhamdulillah. So this make us living safely and peacefully, and we can interact each other now freely. And here I quote our Majesty decree, or we call that the titah. It is in the Malay. I hope the audience, the participants, can understand what our Sultan said or decree in conjunction of the competition of recitation of the Quran for adult in Brunei Darussalam. I think this is very important. This is the latest one about last week. Yeah, about last week. And this is what our Sultan His Majesty said that so ada banyak cara untuk meraih keberkatan Al-Quran, di antaranya dengan membaca, menghafaz dan memahami isi kandungannya. Demikian juga keberkatan boleh diraih dengan membaca ayat-ayat suci Al-Quran bagi tujuan berlindung dan berubat daripada pelbagai penyakit dan musibah. So, and also the Sultan mentioned the verse 82 in verses chapter Al-Isra. The translation is, dan kami turunkan dari Al-Quran itu ayat-ayat yang menjadi ubat penawar dan rahmat bagi orang-orang yang beriman. So kita di Brunei, we are in Brunei, sedang mematuhi dan mengikuti petunjuk ini untuk mengelak atau menolak wabak coronavirus. Kita telah memakainya bersama-sama SOP biasa. SOP biasa sebagai perisai bersepadu, perisai integrasi adalah kesan daripada perisai sepadu atau ini. Brunei Darussalam telah dilihat sedang dibentengi oleh keberkatan yang menakjubkan yang menjadikan keselamatan daripada serangan wabak, yakni wabak coronavirus. Ini adalah situasi luar biasa di mana kita jangan menganggapnya sebagai ringan sahaja. So the conclusion or the idea of the Sultan decree or titah that to show us or to educate us that to face the currently pandemic COVID-19 pandemic. So in Brunei, we use the shield, the protection from the sky, from langit, from Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, and also we use also the protection from the earth, what we call that SOP, standard operational procedure. So this is for us is very important, and we believe that Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala blessed and protected us during the COVID-19 pandemic since March 2020. Next slide, please. As overview or introduction and my presentation, and actually so many webinars or seminars discussion or talking about the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. So in conclusion, it is my overview, we look at the reaction of people globally, or especially in Brunei Darussalam, maybe in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in other countries, that I listed here the most reaction of people towards COVID-19 pandemic. First, worry, of course. Why the people worry globally, as well as in Brunei Darussalam? Because nobody expected that the COVID-19 or the coronavirus will come to us and will spread rapidly, very fast. So, and the of course the worry, and also the how to handle the COVID so experience, and also there is about knowledge about this, and this the COVID-19 is quite different with the viruses before this or previously. Of course, we look at that during the pandemic time, the people get stressful and tense life. Stressful meaning because after this I will elaborate why the people are stressful, because of the change our routine life, and also in the education and the social interaction, economic, and so many things about to make the people stressful and tense in life. And the third one, the people doubtful or skeptical until today, still debating among the scholars, and also among, of course, the people in the Facebook, in the YouTube, and so many things, that they're skeptical that is it true, is it exists that coronavirus is true or still exists, or just this conspiracy, or just to make the world still heavy and skeptical about the virus today. Okay, next. Next slide. Yeah, okay. So now we look into the impact. Just now I mentioned about the reaction of people towards the corona pandemic. Now we look into the impact or the affected of coronavirus to our daily life. Now we can look at that to the socially and our social life. Of course, during the pandemic 19, that of course our movement is very limited. So, for example, we can go from our house, our home, or we go to the to the office. So this make it the people tension or stressful. So, and then people has to change their daily routine. This is we like or we dislike, of course, we have to change our daily life, the style of our life, and also the work from home. This is something new for us, that we work from home, because traditionally we go to the office from morning until afternoon, but now we try work from home. This is a different style of our social life. And also in education, the impact of coronavirus to education, we also change, you know, of we of course use is face-to-face time, very long time, but now we blend, we mix, you know, the style of learning or teaching or learning from face-to-face to virtual learning or dunia maya. So this is a very different style of learning. And of course, actually, according to my observation, that most of the country, mostly in the world, they are not ready yet, you know, to change the style of study or learning from face-to-face to virtual learning, especially in the remote area, from networking, from the digital and something like that. So of course, if we are, when we use the virtual learning in education and teaching learning process, of course, the interaction among teachers or lecturers and students is, of course, different, not like traditional. So in the long term, the interaction among a lecturer or teachers with the student, the interaction only in the what we call it in online learning, this make it the student and as well as the lecturer or the teacher boring. So, and then of course the education, because we are limited movement, of course, especially for the technical and vocational school or lab. So, of course, during the pandemic coronavirus, of course, the practical is different, or what we call that less practical, more to the theoretical. But I look at some videos and information that the student from the physical science, biology science, they do the practical through the virtual learning. So, but it's still different, you know. Of course, this is also the interaction. The interaction is actually very important in teaching and learning. What I mean face-to-face interaction, and of course, this is different. We are facing face-to-face through online and face-to-face through the reality and in the classroom or the learning place. So this is the impact of the coronavirus to the education. And how about the socio-economic status? Of course, we and we realize that the pandemic affected to the loss of jobs, okay, because the factory, closed, restaurant closed, and so many things closed. So the people lost their jobs, and also the number of the unemployment increase. Employment increase because what? Because the mostly now the interaction and the among people is using the online something through the online medium. So that's why we look at that. So many people loss of job, unemployment, and also the number, the issue of the poverty, kemiskinan, is also now rise or increase in some countries. So this is what we call that we call the law. So the to we can when the fund will be on, cannot expect 1 year, maybe next year, or maybe 2 years, next 2 years. So we call that the generation in the pandemic time is the lost generation. Why? We look at that, of course, the impact of the coronavirus to social and education and social economic status is because the different, very different, you know, the generation in the pandemic time in the previous generation. So we call it the lost generation. Okay. Next. Okay. Now, I would like to share the how Brunei today or the current situation. So Alhamdulillah. So until today, yesterday, there is no new local case. There is no local case since May 2020. There is no local case. And Alhamdulillah, schools and office run normally. We are now, we can use the blended learning, the school. But normally now in Brunei Darussalam, the student or the student at the schools and also at university, they go to the school like as usual. And also the office run normally. This different before this, that the student learn or study from school and from home, and also the officers, the employee work at home. But now since July last year, we back to normal. We go to the schools, we go to the office as usual. Okay. So, and also the gathering. Yeah. So we can make the party or the meeting. So gathering now allowed only to capacity 1,000 people. 1,000 people. And then also, even though we have no new local case, but the government and the people still practice social distancing in all premises, and also the emphasis on the use of hand sanitizers or hygiene, and also social premises are open now, Alhamdulillah, since July last year. Restaurant, sport complexes, theaters now are open normally or as usual, Alhamdulillah. And also the government constantly remind the public, to the people, to take precaution, to give the given through the social media, school and ministries. So even though we are free now from the new case, but constantly the government, the people are reminded to take the precaution. So to make it, to make us peacefully and also safe. This is Alhamdulillah what we are facing now, or the current situation in Brunei Darussalam today. Okay, next. Okay. This is, of course, from the spiritual side, from the spiritual side, that we constant recitation of dua, such as during the prayers in Brunei Darussalam, in the mosque, the imam or the Bilal will recite the dua during the prayers 5 times only, and also the what we call that sembahyang salat hajat. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to make Brunei Darussalam in peace and safe. And also the traveling outside Brunei is still not allowed. Okay, by case, priority given to emergency cases and borders with neighboring countries. In Brunei Darussalam, our neighbor are Sabah and Sarawak, but until now the borders still closed since March 2020. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, okay. As a result, what the government done and the people follow, the regulation, the advices from the government, from the Ministry of Health. So as a result, now, Alhamdulillah, level of stress among Brunei people has reduced because today they can lead their normal life and do their normal daily activities. So why the stress among the Bruneian now? Not the tension also is not higher from the other countries, because Alhamdulillah we now we are living now in the normal, and we can do our activity daily life as normal and as usual, like I mentioned before. So this is also the how to make the mental health or the spiritual is still continued, and this is very important. And the Bruneian people follow the constant of recitation of dua before and after prayer. Brunei people are now in peace and able to accept the hikmah of the phenomena, and also the student at the school, they recite the Al-Quran before they continue the teaching and learning every day. They will, or they recite the Quran. So this is very important. So because like the titah or the decree of the Sultan, like I mentioned earlier, that we believe that this is the protection and the blessing from the sky. This is from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and we follow the SOP on the earth. This is from the government, from Ministry of Health, for example, and also from other ministries. So see, we still constant and istiqamah. In Arabic we call it istiqamah, to recitation dua, reading the Quran, and also we can accept now the wisdom or the hikmah of the phenomenon. So the pandemic make us more close to the family and also to the society. So this is from one of the hikmah or the wisdom of this phenomena. Okay. Next. So, how that would empower issue. So I started the session, how does Brunei empower the mental health? I also quoted our Majesty, our Sultan Tita. Beta secara peribadi amatlah meyakini perkara ini, bahawa apa jua jenis virus yang berbentuk wabak tidak akan mampu untuk melangkahi ayat-ayat suci Al-Quran. Oleh itu makanya kita orang Islam janganlah berenggang dari Al-Quran, dalam makna jangan lari dari membacanya. Beta berharap kita orang-orang Brunei akan menjadikan membaca Al-Quran itu sebagai budaya sepanjang zaman. Artinya semua generasi kita, sama ada yang sedia ada maupun yang akan lahir, kemudian adalah generasi-generasi yang membaca Al-Quran. So from our Majesty until the people, we seek the protection and blessing from Allah SWT through the recitation of the Quran. So this is for us in Brunei Darussalam is very important. Okay. So that of the people is through inculcating spiritual values. So, like I said, that we seek the blessing and protection from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala through the spiritual values. So, we do not leave the SOP or the medical or medicine, but we combine. So without denying other external factors such as psychological, environmental, social education, and so forth. So we combine between the spiritual value from this, of course, the religion, our religion, and also the another factors like psychological, environmental, and so forth. So Jerusalem most of the nation. So, and also significant measure has been taken to ensure that infectious diseases are well controlled, as recently exemplified by country's successful response to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we can say that for right now, our country, Brunei Darussalam, what we call it, is successful how to handle and how to respond the COVID-19 pandemic. So again, I would like to say that we in Brunei Darussalam, we combine the spiritual values, this from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and also about the on the earth, this from the medical aspect, vaccine, and also we follow the SOP or the ruling made by the government. So this is very important. Of course, I am sure that I believe that the people outside of Brunei still, facing the stressful and tension, and skeptical or doubtful about the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. So for the education, I think for the in Brunei context, we use the blended learning method in teaching and learning. We also to make sure that of course the advance of the development of ICT we can benefit from that. I think that's all from me, and thank you for listening. Is it finished or? Okay. This the conclusion. I think what I said of approve and Brunei Darussalam there is has to the people in Brunei Darussalam, and Alhamdulillah the response is very good from the people to take the vaccine. I think this is also the blessing in Brunei Darussalam. But I think in other countries they still debating. The people debating this is halal or not halal, is allowed or not allowed, and so many people are doubtful about the vaccine. Is it what we call that affected or not? And there some people look at to the in the media social, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube the impact of the vaccine to the people. So this is to make the people afraid about that. A pandemic the chief so many ways to help the people for example in business, small or medium enterprise, to help them maintain about their living today. Okay, thank you for your time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks, Dr. Gamal, for inspiring presentation about Darussalam journey in empowering mental health and education for a better life after COVID-19 pandemic. I hope we can learn something from Brunei to be applied in our country. And I totally agree with his statement to make reading the Quran as a culture of all the time. Yeah, I hope this pandemic will end soon because we miss the normal life and normal daily activities like in Brunei. We hope so, right? So, well, for the audiences, if you are interested with this topic, please feel free to share your ideas or ask the question in the chat box. Then we will discuss it in the discussion session. So, Dr. Gamal, I would like to ask your permission to move to the next speaker. Is it all right? Probably Dr. Gamal's connection is unstable. So, now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Profesor Dr. Kusnanto SKAP MKes from Universitas Airlangga. Okay. Assalamualaikum, Prof. Kusnanto. Good morning.
Waalaikumsalam. Selamat pagi, good morning.
Selamat pagi, Prof. Thank you for your attendance. Let me introduce Prof. Kusnanto first. Prof. Kusnanto is a lecturer and nursing manager at the Faculty of Nursing of Universitas Airlangga. He also a lecturer at Sutomo Surabaya Midwifery Academy. In addition, he also works as nurse at Dr. Sutomo Hospital Surabaya. His area of expertise is medical surgical nursing. His recent research experience is about optimizing the management of the COVID-19 treatment space using an IoT-based real-time monitor. In 2020, he got award from the Directorate of Learning and Student Affairs of the Ministry of Education and Culture as a supervisor who received funding for the 2020 PKM 5 Field Students Creativity Program. And one of his recent publication is Determinants of Diarrhea Among Children Under 2 Years Old in Indonesia. Well, that is the CV of Prof. Kusnanto, and I see that Prof. Kusnanto has been ready for the presentation. So without further ado, it's my honor to invite Professor Dr. Kusnanto Eskep MKes, who will deliver his presentation about innovation for better life in the post-COVID-19 pandemic. We have 30 minutes for presentation, Professor. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you to moderator for your time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and healthy greeting to all of us. On this occasion, I will describe innovation for better life, the post-COVID-19 pandemic. Tolong di-share, Mbak, dibantu untuk PPT-nya. Mohon dibantu untuk share PPT-nya dari sana, dari panitia. Kemarin sudah dikirim ke Mbak Mila.
Baik Pak, mohon ditunggu.
Ya. Oke, next. Ya, oke. Coronavirus disease 19 is a new type of disease that has not been previously identified in humans. At the end of January 2020, WHO declared a global emergency status for this coronavirus case, and on the February 11, 2020, WHO named it COVID-19. The spread occurred quickly and causes a new pandemic in the world. This direct human-to-human transmission causes an extraordinary increase in the number of cases. Until January 2020, there was an increase of 2,000 confirmed cases in 24 hours. The data for the current COVID-19 patient, global 223 countries, confirmed 175,608,000, 114 and death 3,803,592. Well, in Indonesia, the positive is 1,919,547, with a recovery rate of 1,751,230 for an death rate of 53,116. Next. In below COVID-19 distribution in Indonesia, confirmed 170, 5,680,814. Active case 115,197. Current case 1,750,000. 1,234, and cash debt 53,116. Of the total specimen, examines 17,973,499. and the number of people how have been vaccinated against the first and second stage is 32,039,910. Next. This is picture of the development of case per day in East Java, where in January there was an increase March to May, decrease in June, begin to increase again as an impact after AIDS. Next. What is the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in daily life? Effect of COVID-19 pandemic in daily life is the field of healthcare, challenge in the diagnosis, quarantine, and treatment of suspect or confirmed case, high burden of the functioning in the existing medical system, patient with other disease and health problem are getting neglected. Overload on doctor and other healthcare professionals who are at a very high risk. Overloading of medical staff, requirement for high protection, and disruption of medical supply kind. Next. Effect of COVID-19 pandemic in daily life. Economic. Slowing of the manufacturing of essential goods. Disrupt the supply chain of product, loss in national and international business, poor cash flow in the market, and significant slowing down in the revenue growth. Next. Social. Service sector in not being able to provide their proper service. Cancellation or postponement of playing scale for sport and tourism. Avoiding the national and international traveling and cancellation of services, disruption of celebration of cultural, religious, and festive events, undue stress among the population, and social distancing with our peer and family member. Closure of the hotel, restaurant, and religious place. Closure of place for entertainment such as movie and play theaters, sport club, gymnasium, swimming pool, and so on. And postponement of examination. Next. Innovation is increasingly essential for an effective response to and recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic in low and middle income setting that are the target of official development assistance investment. Next. This is machine-driven innovation. The most obvious example here in the development of the COVID-19 vaccine and related recommend for fire and widespread distribution. Also in the category are the much public's effort to develop ventilator for managing acute COVID-19 case. Anticipatory effort in the COVID-19 content contact, government around the work of the trying to restrict how the opposed pandemic world shall look. This include effort focusing on the comprehensive global reset of the international economic system and enhancement-oriented improvement. Many of the effort in COVID-19 infection control and management phase in this area. For instance, the approach being taken from in the work to tracking, tracing, quarantining, and shielding vulnerable group will add the lesson learning from previous epidemic response with adjustment made for the specific epidemiology in COVID-19. And adaptation innovation, this refer to original simple, locally generated ideas that enable result that will not otherwise be tenable. Some of these high quality effort are based on specific aspect to COVID-19 response, such as low cost and stronger production of effective PPA. Next. Yeah, next. Yeah, this is innovation for development effort of COVID-19 example across the facet with benefit and risk. Example, into the criminal, trust and trace or social protection through digital technologies. Approach, top-down and bottom-up, high certainty. Benefit can be readily and easily approved and generated quick wing. Okay, next. Approach a list of all the app and the distillate category development. The A category or theme of the app were used to identify the following type in information: support, statistic, discrete analysis, health literacy, telehealth, self-evaluation, shift to managing, resource management, queue inferencing, and contact tracing. Next. Okay, next. This is a description of the activities that have been carried out so far, including sharing and exchanging information between stakeholders during the pandemic. Okay, next. Planning for the post-COVID-19 pandemic future and next perspective. How about planning post-COVID-19, the future of pandemic nurses perspective? Okay, error and illusion shall be expected. The potential for error exercise and things might not be as they seem. Practitioner work under an illusion of safety, unaware of a deadly virus with live use underprepared for COVID-19. Limited supply of simple protective equipment in crowded conditions was a challenge. Many practice quickly adapted and shifted to telehealth services and admitting patients to clinical one at a time. Okay, next. Patient knowledge is critical. More in purpose that knowledge is important to develop our capacity. NPS must know how to use, receive, and translate knowledge to practice. Research skill in big data analysis, analytic, implementation science, and trend analysis will be invaluable. Practice must be intelligent, and the best research must be practically and swiftly translated. Ongoing in education in epistemology and evidence-based practice in critical. Next. That is human condition. Modern state there's respect for our its citizenship will be indispensable for our survival. Enhanced interprofessional education, care delivery model, and healthcare from a global perspective are necessary. The COVID-19 pandemic reinforced that nothing happened in one part of the world that does not after use all. Digital identity. NPSs are essential healthcare provider, but also member of the human family and sustainability of human, ecological, economic, and social resources. With aim impacting on efficiency must be the foresee of how NPS are taught and how they provide care. Next. Confer and uncertainties. NPS are valuable frontline leader in period of uncertainty. NPS must be prepared to provide high quality care even in uncertain times. And this will require preparation in quality reform, evidence-based practice, and implementation, science, and research. Next. Understanding each other is essential. According to Maureen, with mutual understanding is necessary to move past the barbarian state of the misunderstanding, to provide comprehensive care to those we do not understand. Our education must be split in cross-culture, understanding culture, competence, and negotiation. Ethic of the human generally must guide our practice. Ethic policy and practice must reflect the moral of what it means to be human. In situation of limited resources, life-saving decision must be made. NPS must be skilled in ethical problem solving and decision making to fairly informed choice. Okay, thank you. Hopefully, we will stay protected from exposure, the COVID-19, and live use prevention the transmission. And remember, we must stay safe, stay home, save life, and social distancing. Billahi taufik wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih. Selamat siang.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Professor, for an excellent presentation. So Thank you for all the keynote speaker for the presentation. Now we are coming to the first discussion session, and we have 15 minutes. Please, for the audience, to write down your question in the chat box, and also give the opportunity to ask the question directly to the keynote speakers. Yes, please. Anybody question? Or you may share something. There are many experts here, right? So it is the greatest opportunity for us. All right, I hope you got clear information and have better insight about the knowledges we are discussing just now. So if there is no question today, so we will skip this discussion session and let's have a break for a moment. And thank you for the audience. Thank you to all the speakers. Thank you, Dr. Ying. Thank you, Dr. Gamal. And thank you, Prof. Kusnanto, for inspiring presentation. May we always in a good health and blessed. I hope we can see you again in the next event. Have a nice day. We'll have a break time for a moment. Please enjoy. Ten minutes. Aduh.
Si batu manikan di berjoget sama di kotan dia menyanyi sebab mengkar jula-jula, sebab mengkar jula-jula. Si batu manikan di berjoget sama di kotan dia menyanyi sebab mengkar jula-jula, sebab mengkar jula-jula. Cuplak-cuplak suang eteng kelenter membuka tondong kudel Pak empong lerak-lere sopong guyung dele ake sir pong dele kopong sir pong dele kopong Ampar-ampar pisangku belum masak wak sabigi diurung bari-bari manggalepok patah kayu pengkok dimakan api apinya cangcurupan rasa sayangi lihat dari jauh rasa sayangi lihat dari jauh rasa sayangi Honke,
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, are you enjoying with the performance? I hope you're still excited with this seminar. We hope so. Now we are coming to the second session of this conference, and in this session, we also have extraordinary keynote speakers. Let me introduce the first speaker in the second session, Dr. Khairul Anwar, MPD. Good morning, Dr. Khairul. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good
Yeah.
morning.
Good morning. Thank you for your attendance. Dr. Khairul Anwar is a Vice Rector of Academic Affairs of Universitas Muhammadiyah Gresik. He accomplished his doctoral degree in English Education Department of Universitas Negeri Malang. His research experience in 2021 is about development of mobile-assisted language learning, based learning materials to improve English skills midwifery. For the achievement, he got a sandwich program in Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand in 2008. And he got leadership training in Monash University in 2018. One of his recent publications in 2021 is about students' perception of collaborative team teaching and student achievement motivation, published in International Journal of Instruction. All right, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Khairul Anwar, MPD. And time until 10:45, sir.
Okay.
The
Thank you
title of
very
his
much.
presentation is LMS Psychology to Accelerate Graphic Organizer Strategy, a Case in Teaching Writing. All right, Dr. Khairul, time is yours.
I need your help to share the PPT. I think I have already set it to committee, and with this to help me share the presentation. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to share the experience here because my concern is on education, especially on English language education. And this is just a small research related to LMS Schoology to accelerate graphic organizer in my field of study, especially in teaching writing. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about teaching writing, I think it's quite problematic, especially because this is very high competence in language. So the most concerns in writing is how to create ideas. So creating ideas, I think, plays important role. It refers to generating hints and subsequently to the way this draft online can be outline can be incorporated to a proper text, high quality. So finding and creating ideas in writing requires pertinent processing strategy, appropriate learning media in teaching. So this title concerned with the graphic online strategy, which is very commonly used by many teachers. And I combined with the LMS Schoology to see whether this LMS Schoology can accelerate graphic recognizer so that it can also enhance the writing ability. So next slide, please. Now, in why this is graphic organizer is the things that I concern in this case as the strategy in teaching, because this is a visual images for designing ideas and writing content on this is known as a graphic organizer, and this is a common EFL writing process that the strategy that produces visual image. So some studies also have indicated that this strategy can also give a benefits, positive benefit for writing. So the reason is that because the visual display or the graphic here is to illustrate the relationship with facts and then terms and also the ideas. So this is a visual display or graphic that is very useful, not only to have students make a good topic sentence, provide supporting details, and also understand the difficult concepts, to generate thoughts, and to identify connection between ideas. The writing, that's much more on to interaction. Interaction is another concern why graphic organizer is become a big concern of the teacher nowadays. And the graphic organizer, fortunately, remain problematic. It doesn't provide information as triggering ideas to students. And another thing is that because mostly graphic organizers is just still, students still got difficulties to complete the graphic organizer itself, because it only helps students distinguish between what is important to know and what is negligible. So it doesn't provide the information as triggering ideas to students. So graphic organization therefore has not met the needs of students in terms of creating ideas to make proper writing design. So the solution is that by combination, I think. So optimizing ideas not only requires strategy, it's not enough, I think, but also demands the use of relevant learning media. And at this point, learning media of LM Schoology provides a tool for uploading material in various formats such as audio files, images, videos, and links. That the student also draw and student can design their own graphic organizer with the various shapes and colors. This one of the a good opportunities for me to at least to see whether this kinds of combination between LMS Schoology and also the graphic organizer can enhance the writing ability, but also the students should at least their readiness. And as we know that this kind of LMS Schoology is not only good at the interaction, but also good at the resources provided quite fulfill the current needs of the student. Our students dominantly are millennial students, so they need to be fulfill their own. So Schoology is one of the, based on the previous studies, this good in terms of two things that will accelerate in terms of the strategy of teaching and writing. And the second one is it can help teachers to maximize the social interaction of the students. And that means the student-centered learning approach is accommodated well in LM Schoology. That is based on the previous research. But then we know that dominantly the previous studies, next slide please, this one, graphic organizer and Schoology have indeed been performed parallel. That is the fact based on the previous studies. And the combination of both remains overlooked. And we know that the advantages of Schoology can hopefully complement the lacks of the most sophisticated use of graphic organizer in stimulating the idea of stress-free writing. So even students based on the previous study maximizing the graphic organizer, they still have a problem on really putting the ideas or generating the ideas in the right. So the combining of TO and LMS Schoology, it assumed that this will give more benefits. So this study leads to the two main questions. The first is, does Schoology have significant impact on students' writing? This is a general general question as it was done by the previous study. But dominantly previous studies just focus on GO, but this is Schoology and in GO, what I mean here, have whether this has a significant impact on students' mastery, sorry. And the second is how the readiness of the students in adapting the use of Schoology platform. Why we concern with the readiness? Because there are two things that is neglected, that are neglected so far by the previous studies is on the readiness of the students and the readiness of the teachers. Some are on the engagement of the student and teacher, even the parents. There are not enough studies related readiness and all the engagement, especially related to the LMS here. Now, next slide is on the method. I employ a mixed method strategy. I mean here, the first to answer the first questions, I employ the experimental research design, which have two groups of the students which are used here, the students of senior high, and the first is called experimental group, and the second is group with the 30 students of each. And you know that the pre-test is delivered for the first of treatment, experimental and the control group, and then the treatment given by only the experimental group. The control group, no treatment for the control group, and we see the comparison of the two of the experimental and the control group as in the post test. And we use also the validity process of the instruments, especially for the pre-test and the post-test. Also, of course, we also have to see the content validity because this is the writing test, and for answering the second question, especially for the readiness of the students, we employ a questionnaire. So if it is a questionnaire, we also check the validity of the questionnaire, and then we use those instruments after the treatment. Next slide. We continue with the results. Based on the descriptive statistics, it shows that the mean of the experimental group is, of course, this one is 83.07, means that is higher than control group. This mean has shown us that the experimental group give higher results compared to the control group, and the amount of 77.27 for the control group, and then the experimental group 83.07. Of course, this shows that the experimental class is higher than the one attained by the control class. Next slide. And to support this, then we also check the result of sample independent sample t-test. Yeah, and we got that based on the table, the significant value is 0.0. So at that the critical value for the 5% level, this means that the significant value is less than 5%, meaning that below than 0.05. So as the consequence, the null hypothesis can be rejected, or it can be said that there is enough evidence to conclude that the use of graphic organizer, which is combined with the LMS Schoology, shows the higher performance level of writing than the use of the ordinary graphic organizer. Okay, next slide. I also would like to show the readiness of the students based on the questionnaires. And the table also shows that the average value of the students' perception on the readiness of the use of the Schoology is 65.7. That means, meaning that this level of readiness at already at good level. So the highest level we see on the table of the readiness of the student is on the mastery of material, 70% there. ease of the procedure for applying Schoology 73%, ease of use 70%, availability of exercise is 70%, while the lowest readiness value is the ability to identify words to make categorization Schoology 56%. So, ladies and gentlemen, this data shows that students not only improve their abilities in writing it has been shown in the experimental group, but also shows the adequate readiness in implementing the LMS and GO. And of course, next slide, please. The conclusion, we can take a conclusion that, yes, please, next slide. We can take a conclusion, yes, the integrations of GO and Schoology in this case is a best practice to augment some of the simple ideas for framework mapping and its access. What I mean here, the positive effect of the use of graphic organizer combined with the LMS Schoology on the students' writing, good and positive. And we also see that their readiness, or the students' readiness, so at good level. So it means that Schoology, LMS Schoology combined with the GO aid students to acquire information about the teams through posted videos, while graphic organizers assist to organize ideas and then well organized. So this integration is actually good to alleviate the burden of the teachers. And teachers are recommended to always attend to the development of technology. So this is important. Why? Because the needs of the nowadays are quite dynamic and easily changing based on the environment. Technology is one of the things that the students now have been much more habituated. So teachers can also be able to adjust the current learning style. So these two kinds of concerns, technology and learning styles, current learning styles are and cannot be separated in nowadays teaching era. If the students just only concerned with the learning style or teaching style, learning style, it's not enough because the age is now have been changing to be more vast, to be more dynamic and changing very easily, especially of the students' needs. So to always think of the integrating aspects of teaching strategy with the suitable online learning media, it is a must for all the teachers now. This is just only one example, the small examples of how to integrate what the simple and also easy technology and a free technology for LMS Schoology combined with the GO to accelerate GO, so that this is good for writing, teaching right. Next is for the further researchers. I think there are other concerns that the next researchers can also see. The first is called readiness of the teacher. We know that writing ability can be maximally achieved by the students because the other not only the media and also the method of teaching, the students and also teachers' readiness, especially even parents' readiness. You know, the process of learning, especially on online or blended teaching strategy or approach, and need also the participation of the parents. So we also have to dig up more and more on the readiness of the parent. And we believe that parents also have a high contribution to the success of learning of the students, as well as the obstacle to maximize engagement of teachers. So more research on the engagement, I think, is also another aspect, another important things concern for the one who consumes education, especially the English language education, and also engagement of the students, and also engagement of the parents in the presentation of LMS. I think enough for very short presentation. Hopefully this will be useful for teachers, especially for English language teachers. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for the interesting presentation about LMS psychology to accelerate graphic organizer strategy, a case in teaching writing. And for the information, we will have the discussion session in the second session. So please feel free to share with us by typing the question in the chat box. All right, thank you, Dr. Hairul. So ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to listen to the presentation of the second speaker, Dr. Sigit Hermawan, SA MSc. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Sigit.
Waalaikumsalam, Mr. May, and all participants. Okay.
Dr. Sigit has ready for his presentation.
Yes.
But let me introduce him in advance. He accomplished his doctoral degree in economics of Universitas Airlangga. His research experience in 2021 and granted from Ministry of Education and Culture is opportunities and threats of the Industrial Revolution 4.0 on accounting and intellectual capital contribution. He got 123 million rupiah. That's very great, Dr. Sigit. And one of his publications in 2021 is ICD and CICM, Evidence from Universities in Southeast Asia. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sigit has joined with us. So now please welcome Dr. Sigit Hermawan, SA MSc, to deliver his presentation entitled Learning from Home Response to COVID-19. You have 30 minutes, sir. Time is yours.
Thank you. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you all our participants and Ms. May Umtas, Dr. Mujiarto, and of all the committee of the second PVJ International Seminar UMTAS 2021. I am Sigit Hermawan from UMSIDA, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sidoarjo. I will presentation my research about COVID-19 and the response. The title is Learning from Home, Respond to COVID-19, and the Understanding of Counting Student. I think this is very relevant with the theme of PVJ IMTAS 2021. Okay. Introduction. We know that the COVID-19 pandemic hit Indonesia in early March 2020 and has been spreading to human rapidly. Education is one of the sectors that have felt the most impact from government policies due to the COVID-19 pandemic regarding online education. We know that all of education, I think, online education with Zoom, with e-learning and Google Map, and so on. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced higher education institutions in Indonesia to accelerate alternative methods as an adjustment to the learning process. The application of e-learning is inevitable during the pandemic. There are many learning in Indonesia. In my campus in UMSIDA using model learning. And then even though the implementation of learning has been well optimized, several factors becomes obstacle so that the application of learning becomes ineffective as a distance learning process. This is the problem, yes. Problem all of the student, all of the lecture. I think it is a problem about learning in Indonesia. Many problems, I think. Human resource and the available of information technology are the main factors. in achieving a successful application of e-learning. I think there are two problems, two problems in Indonesia. The first about human resources, and the second is available of information technology. Besides, the level of difficulty, of course, is another determining factor for the success of learning of online learning. The application of e-learning has not been felt equally by students because the disparity between students who live in urban and rural area. This is, I think, this is problem. There are many students living in urban, but there are many students live in rural area. This is about facility and then the human resource. Also, students with insect science have more challenge to achieve the application of learning compared to students based on social science. I think there is problem between social science and non-social science or exact science. I think this is there are problems in this application of e-learning. This is purpose of my research. Testing the learning from home impact as a response of COVID-19 pandemic and information technology available on accounting student understanding through e-learning application in Indonesia. This is about research aims to testing learning from home, impact, and then information technology available, and then learning implementation in Indonesia. In practical term, this study provides an overview and insight that can be used for evaluation in several Indonesian universities related the application of e-learning and improvement of alternative teaching methods without face-to-face in classroom during the pandemic period. This is literature review. We use teknologi acceptance model atau TAM ya. In economic science, it is I think is usual to use technology. TAM. TAM is one of the first models that combine human cognitive factor that can influence the acceptance of technology in various jobs, and the theoretical approach that model the purpose of acceptance and use the new technology by various groups. TAM's model was first introduced by Fishbein and Asjen as a theory of root action designed to analyze and anticipate in the intention and predict a person's behavior based on factors such as attitude and subjective norm that refer to belief without motivation. We use TAM, Technology Acceptance Model, for literature review. This is the research model. There are five variable independent variable dependent and intervening variable. There are 5 variables. The first, X1 learning from home, X2 respond on COVID-19, X3 IT availability, independent variable. And then the Z is learning implementation and dependent variable accounting understanding. This is hypothesis from our research. There are 9 hypotheses. The first, learning from home affect the application of e-learning. Hypothesis 2, learning from home has an effect on accounting understanding. Hypothesis 3, learning from home has an indirect effect on understanding accounting through the application of e-learning. Hypothesis 4, the response of the COVID-19 pandemic has an impact on the application of e-learning. Hypothesis 5, the application of learning has an effect on accounting understanding. Hypothesis 6, the response to the COVID-19 pandemic has an indirect effect on understanding accounting through the application of e-learning. Hypothesis 7, the availability of information technology has an effect on the application of e-learning. Hypothesis 8, availability of information technology has an effect on accounting understanding. Hypothesis 9, the availability of information technology has an indirect effect on understanding accounting through the application of e-learning. Methods. Samples were taken captively from accounting students at several Indonesian studies. There are a total of 409 questionnaires were returned with a month of 10 further analysis was carried out. Data-based analysis using conformability factor analysis atau CFA, which is used to test the factor model for contract validity and contract measurement. After CFA, the effect of learning from home response to COVID-19 IT availability, application of e-learning and accounting understanding were testing using part analysis. Result and discussion. The findings show that the learning from home, the response to COVID-19, the availability of IT, and the application of e-learning directly affect at the level of accounting understanding of students in Indonesia. The same as the technology acceptance model theory or TAM theory. However, this study shows that the application of e-learning cannot be included in the e-learning process of accounting subject because dominance of accounting subject requires face-to-face learning design. Jadi ada 3 hipotesis yang tidak diterima. Yakni adalah hipotesis yang menggunakan e-learning sebagai variabel intervening. Semua tidak diterima. The significant result is so that the indirect effect of e-learning from home on accounting student. One possible explanation is that there are several important factors that cause students fail to understand accounting course when there is online learning. The main factor is that the sum of accounting course is the accounting study problem are caused with the type of practicum. Jadi banyak praktikumnya gitu maksudnya. Accounting course are different from other because accounting course have very continuous level and they require students to pass basic course so that can understand accounting course at the high level. There are many problems when accounting students use online learning. Advanced semester courses are dominated by subjects with basic analysis and calculation, which are quite difficult to so that it cannot be done through the application of learning. The results support the finding of Marzuki et al., which state that accounting students will have difficulty achieving the understanding of calculating and analyzing by using information technology or application of e-learning. Jadi kesimpulannya adalah bahwa kalau di akuntansi itu pakai e-learning itu gak efektif begitu. Karena banyak didominasi oleh perhitungan dan analisis, apalagi untuk yang mata kuliah tingkat akhir gitu ya ini. Jadi ini menjadi menjadi pertemuan penting ya, teman penting bahwa e-learning itu tidak begitu efektif di prodi akuntansi ini. Conclusion: the contribution of this study is the expansion of the literature on the application of learning to student perception of accounting student understanding. This approach attend that the usefulness of technology model theory TAM is contents of pandemic and at the topics recommended by research forums in the field of accounting, economic, and education. The findings show that learning from home, the response to COVID-19, availability of IT, and the application of learning directly affect the level of accounting and understanding of students in Indonesia, the same as the technology acceptance model theory atau TAM theory. However, the study show that application of e-learning cannot be included in the learning process of accounting subject because the dominant of accounting subject requires face-to-face learning design. This research also show that the level of effectiveness of learning due to COVID-19 pandemic depend on the readiness of universities and student is optimizing the use of information technology in learning process, especially for accounting student. The researchers believe that more research is needed to develop our understanding of the learning-based learning process and its role in general social exact course. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Halo, Miss May. Miss May. Miss May, or the committee, other committee, maybe. Di mana nih?
Mungkin lagi trouble Pak Panitia, mungkin.
Iya, Bu,
koneksinya.
Mbak Mei. Panitia. Silakan kalau ada yang ditanyakan Bapak Ibu semuanya. Ke Pak Hairul atau ke saya juga boleh.
Siap, siap. Sambil menunggu panitia on lagi ya Pak Sigit ya.
Monggo kalau ada yang tanyakan sambil nunggu online-nya panitia Mbak Mei tadi itu.
Risetnya Pak Sigit menarik itu.
Ya, e-learning-nya nggak efektif Pak, kalau di kami Pak.
Ya, ya.
Karena kan akuntansi itu kan butuh proses, Pak, ya.
Ilmunya ya banyak di aplikasi ya Pak ya.
Iya, aplikasi menjurnal kan harus ada proses. Itu yang menjadi kesusahan gitu. Aplikasi kemudian di lab gitu Pak. Sehingga
Beda
kalau
dengan
e-learning
ilmu
ya
saya.
begitu. Ya, iya. Beberapa mata kuliah bisa Pak, tapi tidak mata kuliah yang wawasan saja gitu Pak. Yang berdiskusi gitu bisa, tapi kalau yang harus menghitung, harus ada proses itu ya nggak bisa.
Mantap.
Pak Sigit, saya jadi tertarik juga.
Silakan Ibu.
Untuk yang e-learning nggak semuanya bisa ya Pak. Pak keynote Pak. Jadi
Silakan.
solusi Bapak itu gimana? Karena semua itu kan udah mau e-learning Pak. Saya sendiri yang belajar bahasa juga kesulitan Pak, karena percakapan, conversation juga nggak bisa e-learningnya. Saran Bapak itu gimana ya Pak ya?
Kalau di kami pakai ini Bu, sudah mulai kita pakai pertemuan luring akhirnya begitu dengan prokesnya itu. Jadi harus ketemu memang, harus ketemu di kelas, harus ketemu di lab gitu, Bu Yiying. Mohon maaf.
Ya Pak, nama saya agak susah di spell.
Nah ini
itu
panitianya
salah.
sudah.
Iya.
Mohon maaf
Terima kasih,
Pak. Iya, Miss May sedang keluar sebentar katanya bahkan ke blog.
Oh gitu.
Itu ya. Mohon ditunggu sebentar ya Pak.
Ya. Kalau risetnya Pak Hoirul apa tentang apa tadi Pak? LMS Pak ya?
Iya itu riset kecil aja Pak, itu aja yang sudah dipakai para guru-guru itu.
Wah, bisa
cuman kan selama ini terputus dengan teaching methodnya, reintegrasi biasanya gitu. Diri sendiri, ya itu. Fokus ke media saja kadang-kadang. Nah, ini saya coba dikaitkan dengan teaching method yang sederhana, yang kaitannya dengan menulis kok bagus gitu ya. Nah, mungkin ya itu tadi, kalau di bidang kami mungkin yang agak kesulitan betul tadi Bu Yiying ya, itu di speaking. Itu memang biasanya kalau video-video saja tidak cukup, it's not quite authentic ya. To see their students' ability. Ya, kan kita kan butuh spontaneous itu ya, spontaneous the way the students express.
Nah ini sudah ada Mbak Mei.
Ini udah masuk.
Mei.
Excuse me. All right. Is the presentation is over?
Yes, done
thank you
already.
very much, Dr. Sigit, for a great presentation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the next agenda. The presentation from the next keynote speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Yusliza Muhammad Yusuf from University Malaysia, Terengganu. I'm sure she's on with us. Good morning, Dr. Yusliza.
Thank you, Miss May.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Miss May, can you hear me? All of you?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
And then you can see my slide.
Sure. The slide is
okay.
already.
Thank you once again, Miss May, for your kind introduction, as well as Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everywhere you are coming from all over the world. So it is an honor for me to join all of you at the second Paris When Java International Seminar on Health, Economics, Social Science, and Humanities. So I missed the moment I visited Paris One Java supermarket, shopping mall. First and foremost, let me express my my sincere and heartfelt gratitude And thanks to the organizing committee once again of this conference. This is my most previous thank you goes to all of the presenters, listeners and observers who are coming online from different parts of the world to listen to this session. So today is a significant day for this conference and me. I would like to extend my sincerest congratulations to Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya convening this conference and for asking me to speak on the topic of green human resource management and sustainability. Before I proceed with the presentation, let me introduce a bit about myself. I'm coming from Terengganu, from Faculty of Business, Economics, and Social Development. So it really suits to the theme of the conference. So my area of interest currently, I'm focused more on green human resource management and also green employee behavior. You can contact with me if you have any question. If just in case you want to have collaboration with my university, feel free to drop your email at usliza@umt.edu.my. Okay, I'm also proud to share with you my area of interest, which is also called sustainable human resource management. As you can see in this slide, me is also touched by this paper from WUS Q1, Web of Science Q1, and also Scopus Q1, that I am the 10 most productive authors. And this is based on the statistic by the author PVJ-IS. So I'm among the top 10 scholars of the world regarding this area, together with Chaba Joseph, Juicy, and several others. Okay, for today's presentation, I would like to share my topic, which is all of you can appreciate what I've been conducted on green human resource management and sustainability. This paper is already published in Web of Science Q1 from Business Strategy and the Environment. Okay, you can feel free to download to read further the full content of this topic. Right, and also that's why I'm happy to share this topic, and this paper is being awarded to me by university based on the Anugerah Penerbitan Pendidikan from social science perspective, okay, at university level. So that's why it is very important nowadays, not only for Malaysia, but also for Indonesia, Taiwan, and different parts of other countries. Okay, to begin with, so like previous speaker already shared just now about COVID-19, I'm also would like to share about the COVID-19. COVID-19 is actually a pandemic, a global pandemic that has driven nearly every country around the world into some form of quarantines and economic shutdown for the duration of the crisis. In fact, now Malaysia are locked down until 28th of June. The global COVID-19 pandemic has been tragic, okay, with loss of life. Okay, I'm so sorry for those who are losing your family because of COVID-19, disruption of daily routines, the resurgence of xenophobia, stress on medical system, like our earlier speaker from Brunei, also talk about stress with regards to the COVID-19 and job losses and harm to the economy. Overnight, life was interrupted worldwide. Okay, it's just like dream is so scary and nightmare for all of us, forcing instantaneous shift in how we exist. Okay, if there ever time that says, actually, bad news, sir, that is it. So how it relates with SDGs? Okay, the impact of COVID-19 on the global economy will be more intense and long-lasting than those felt during 2008-2009 global financial crisis. Okay, this impact poses a serious threat to the development prospect of less industrialized nation, including us, Malaysia, Indonesia, and several neighboring countries, except for Singapore, of course, and to the realization of the UN SDGs by 2030. Nevertheless, the UN remains optimistic, okay, as it launched a plan to defeat the virus and build a better world. Okay, before the pandemic, progress in attaining all 70 SDGs has been mixed. Okay, although extreme poverty and infant and maternal mortality has declined since 2000, low-income countries has achieved less poverty reduction. And this progress came at the expense of other important goals, especially when we relate with this topic that I'm going to share with you right now is SDG 11 until 15. Okay. COVID-19 has hit developing countries particularly hard, and developing countries are highly vulnerable, okay, to the COVID-19 pandemic, in part due to the lack of international support of ensuring progress of the 17 SDGs just now. Although the the global CO2 emission have fallen sharply due to lockdown, okay, during the pandemic, the trend in recent years has been rising emissions of growth in energy use from fossil fuel sources, outpace the rise of low carbon sources and activities, especially in developing countries. The pandemic could further undermine progress toward SDG 13, which is climate action here, by reducing the commitment to the global climate action. Now, moving on to the sustainability. I know majority of you, maybe all of you, aware what is sustainability is. How this situation relates with the crisis and climate action. Climate action is also related to sustainability. The general and most defined of sustainability is that I would like to share once again, if maybe some of you do not aware about sustainability, is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Okay, the triple bottom line, if you can see on your right, has a principle has been introduced to describe the three pillars of sustainability, that is economic, environmental, and social. So now, let me share with you about SDG. SDGs are universal call to action to end poverty. They focus particularly on poverty. Protect the planet and improve the lives and prospect of everyone, everywhere, no matter you are coming from small village until whether you are coming from urban or rural area. The 17 SDGs that you can see in front of you were adopted by all UN member states in 2015 as part of 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which set out of 15-year plan to achieve the goals. Means we are a few more years to achieve 2030. Today, progress is being made in many places, okay, including Indonesia, Malaysia, but overall action to meet the goal is not yet advancing at the speed of scale required. This year, 2021, needs to usher in a decade of ambitious to deliver the goals by 2030. There are several motivations, okay, that may encourage companies, okay, you can see no matter you are small, medium, or large companies, to adopt sustainable practices, okay. In particular, a company may work to mitigate its environmental and social impacts, okay, in line with the international treaties and regulatory frameworks that various countries, group, continents, the United Nations, and other entities encourage and propagate globally. According to resource-based view, okay, if I can relate with the paper and then the research that we have conducted, human resources are important and unique resources for the firm. Okay, they cannot be easily copied by competitors. Okay, and they are capable of generating unique competitive advantage for firms. Okay, in order to stand out their competitors, we also from higher education institute, we also compete with each other in healthy manner. Okay, firms often invest in practices, okay, including unique HRM practices. This actually manifests as a set of actions. It ranges from you start from hiring people, and then until you terminate people, and then you recruit again. Okay, that's about HRM practices. Okay, this manifests is actually it helps the company to focus on the environmental aspect in order for you to achieve the company's sustainable environmental goals. Okay, presently, okay, with those business models are aligned with the business premise of sustainability, okay, act as a determinant of circularity in terms of resources. Okay, thus their organizational structure require workforce that more focus on environmental aspect or what we call sustainability. The workforce nowadays, they need to here, UMT also their good resources in terms of good talent. Okay, I'm sure your organization have your own talented workforce. Okay, this workforce is actually when you from the top management, you have to start with good green culture that outlook and have the capacity to offer product and services to the society. Okay, now it is recommended that green human resource management or it need to achieve organizational sustainability. Okay, this is related to it start with workforce planning until each step, which is the critical skill gaps analysis for the company planning. Okay. Moving on, so here we need to try to minimize the environmental impact for the better life of our future. This is about green culture. So as a top management, we need to slowly encourage people under us to focus on green culture. Okay, green HRM, what is it? Maybe some of you keep questioning. It's new for you, maybe for us, maybe majority of you. What is green HRM? Before this, you heard about green management, just now about green finance and etc. To share with you, green human resource management practices is actually constitute a necessary change in the manufacturing industry. So now you can move to other industry, which is higher education institution as well. Time is of the essence in terms of green HRM initiative, okay, that foster environmental management practices, reducing environmental degradation, okay, and encourages protection and renewal. Okay, green human resource management is still early stages of development, with some companies following green practices, okay, and other using green human resource management as human resource strategy that support pro-environmental corporate management. So in front of you, there are two definitions that is quite straightforward for you to understand better about this concept. So firm further proactive for greening may be more productive, resulting in competitive advantage. Okay, conversely, firms without a comprehensive program of green HRM have potential limitations, okay, resulting in ineffective environmental management. So green HRM practices help enhance process by improving efficiency, eliminating environmental waste, okay, fostering green behavior, resulting in green efficiency and cost reduction. Furthermore, firms are proactive in terms of greening. Maybe scholars increase emphasis on sustainable strategy that reinforce the importance of HR practices and sustainability. So they identify the link between HR practices and organizational sustainability through research-based view that I've mentioned just now. In fact, our guru on Jackson and Sue 2010, if I would like to share, claimed that those companies that pay attention to greening their human resources may be more productive, okay, resulting in competitive advantage. The central role of HRM is the search for sustainable organization. Okay. All right, institutional and societal pressure, okay, evolutionary processes, regeneration, organizational competitiveness, and desire to optimize natural resources, whether possible focus managers of human attributes that contribute to firm sustainability. So therefore, HR departments are set up with strict guidelines in terms of natural resources. The benefit resulting from the implementation of green HR practices include an increase in staff ecological awareness, okay, which in turn further organizational sustainable practices. So now let me share with you what are the aspects of you can focus at different dimension of green human resource management. The first one is we call green analysis and job description. In an organization that is working towards sustained improvement of environmental performance, green analysis and job descriptions should focus on positions that demand environmental knowledge, particularly employees who are directly involved in the improvement of environmental performance in the organization. Okay, encouraging employees to broaden their environmental knowledge, as well as try to empower your employees to engage in environmental management issues. So here is some of the evidence that support the relationship between each aspect of green HRM related to sustainability. You can have this slide and then you can see the reference that I've shared with you here today. Next one is green recruitment. Okay, and the environmental performance of a company can be used in the recruitment process to attract talent. Okay, in the race of attract, which is now we heard about talent war, to attract the most talented and innovative employees, companies such as big company like General Electric, okay, present a picture of themselves of having rich environmental awareness in order to boost their recruiting leverage. Web-based recruitment, because now we are living in COVID-19, so you have to recruit through online mechanism, okay, allows recruiters, you as a company or organization, to provide more information on their environmental management activities compared with more traditional media, such as newspaper, advertising, or brochures. Okay, so that's the evolution of what happened. Actually, hikmah that I would like to take quotation from our friend from Brunei just now. Green selection, an organization that is focused on environmental management should select people who are committed and sensitive to environmental issues. So next is dimension for green HRM is green training. The training of the workforce has long been recognized as important ingredient in promoting and implementing environmental management practices in any organization. Okay, green training tends to be the most effective HR practices for supporting environmental management, and it's a key factor in both the development of the employees as well as environmental awareness among employees and the initial process of implementing environmental initiative. Okay, green training maybe increase employees' awareness on environmental performance and might include environmental legal issues, okay, instruction for the use of new devices, okay, all using IoT, AI, and etc. that I can share some, and corporate codes of conduct. In fact, right now, many companies are moving toward sharing what is SDGs in their company. Okay, it also happened in Malaysia. Okay, green performance level assessment. Some companies have set environmental goals for their employees, okay, and evaluate their contributions to environmental management as one criteria in the performance assessment program. Okay, this is more often the case in companies with an ISO 14000 certification. Effective performance assessment actually provide useful feedback for employees and can support continuous improvement in a firm environmental achievement. Performance assessment impact on environmental management when companies have annual goals, okay, for pollution prevention, for example, and the development of environmental innovation. So now companies are more focusing on green innovation, like our previous speaker shared also just now. Okay, green rewards. Okay, the minute employees are in the effort of loving the environment, other things related to love the environment, the top management can reward that particular employees in order to motivate them to love the environment to our future generation. Several organizations have developed reward systems, okay, to incentivize, to give incentive to the environmental performance. Monetary and non-monetary rewards are powerful tools in supporting environmental management activities. A CPIPD or KMG survey estimated that 8% of the firm in the United Kingdom were rewarding green behaviors with financial incentive or recognition. All right. So in UMT as well, let's say I've published in a topic of green, and then I've been awarded as some kind name of green on award for at the university level. So this some of the initiative, even small, but it's actually give impact to the employees. Okay, last but not least, this synopsis should provide a solid basis for advancing research in these domains. I'm also looking for collaboration with Indonesia. Just recently, I noticed 2 papers coming out in Scopus Journal doing research on green HRM related to Indonesia context. Okay. Before I end, I would like to thank again to the organizing committee for inviting me as a keynote speaker for this conference. I look forward to many years of meaningful and fruitful collaboration with Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya and other universities, and codicially once pandemic is over, when border is open, and we would like to invite all of you to collaborate and visit us University Malaysia Terengganu. With that, I end my presentation. Thank you for listening and enjoy my presentation. Over to you, Ms. May.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Yusliza, for the presentation about green human resource management. I hope you don't mind to wait until the discussion session. I still hope there are many audiences to ask or share something in the discussion session. Would you mind? All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's my pleasure to invite the last keynote speaker on today's international seminar, Dr. Hajah Laksminarti SHMH from Universitas Muhammadiyah Palangkaraya. I believe she's on with us. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Lasmi.
Waalaikumsalam. Waalaikumsalam. Hey.
All right, thank you for your attendance. I see that Dr. Lasmi had been ready for the presentation. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Laksminarti SHMH to deliver her presentation entitled Regional Spatial Plane Arrangement Based on Integrity and Ecological Justice National Development. The time is yours.
Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. To joy of you, I am ready for presentation my research. Regional Special Plan Arrangement based on integrity and ecological justice national development. Background law issue Undang-Undang Number 5 tahun 1960 about UPA atau Undang-Undang Pokok Agraria, Undang-Undang Nomor 41 ini kami translate ke bahasa Inggris karena dia undang-undang about kehutanan, tentang kehutanan dan fokus utamanya adalah isu tentang penataan ruang. Pasal 33 ayat number 1 and 2 OPR, there is a progress to optimum in the process of natural resources. And problem is philosophy, law and regulation on spatial planning do not reflect legal justice. Theoretical paradigm shift from sustainable development to sustainable development based on ecological sustainability. From sociological, the absolutity of the norm contained in the legislation concerning spatial planning has not been if they provide the greatest benefit on the Indonesian people. Research problem, theory and concept and method. Research problem number 1, what is the meaning of the regional spatial plan based on ecological integrity and justice and national development? Theory and concept. 1, Wapel state theory. 2, theory of justice. 3, ecological sustainable spatial concept. Research problem number 2, how is the regional spatial plan arrangement based on ecological integrity and justice and national development? Theory and concept. 1, development law theory. 2, concept national spatial planning arrangement. 3, ecological sustainable spatial concept. Research problem number 3, how is the reformulation of the regional spatial planning regulation based on ecological integrity and justice and national development? Theory and concept for the research problem number 3 is 1, legislation theory. 2, ecological sustainable national spatial law reform. Method, legal research normative. Pro, 1, law and regulation. 2, conceptual. 3, historical dan legal material. 1, primary. 2, secondary. 3, tertiary. Analysis legal material. Next, analysis of research result. Problem 1, what the meaning of the regional spatial planning based on ecological integrity and justice in the national development? Description, regional spatial plan arrangement based on integrity and ecological justice national development. Pasal 33 ayat 1 and 2 Undang-Undang Penataan Ruang, there is a progress of no in the price another natural resources. Analysis, the meaning of regional spatial planning that connect space system and of source of life as a better for the ecological system must be maintained and preserved in order to provide benefit for the human life because it must be managed in an integrated manner. Analysis of research number 2 problem, how is regional spatial plan based on ecological integrity and justice is national development? Description, ecological sustainable nation development, the spatial plan law is the oriented to the concept of the sustainable development for the sake of environmental conservation and has not yet received clear and firm regulatory support, so that what happened is the religious ego and sectoral ego in its regulation. Analysis not yet integrated and well contributed overall law and regulation, special plan, and not yet based on integrity and ecological justice. Analysis of result problem number 3, how the reformulation of regional special plan regulation based on ecological integrity and justice in national development. Description, reformulation of regional special plan regulation. The special plan law is the ended as form of natural resources management that need to be carried out in coordinated, integrated, and synergetic manner with the environmentally sound development resources. The revision are needed to improve the special planning law. Analysis, development that promotes economic aspect and as a physical development pro need to be changed in this formulation in order to produce an ideal policy that is solution collectivity, responsive, participatory principle, and has morality principle. Simpulan problem 1, the meaning of the religion special plan connect space as a system and a source of life as better of all the ecological system that must be maintained and in order to the benefit for human life, because it must be arranged in an integrity manner in order to provide welfare and the property for all Indonesian people in accordance with the main of the Constitution of the Republic of Indonesia. With the state that state of obligation to release property all Indonesian people. Number 2, problem number 2. Religion special planning, seen from the perspective of legal theory, is not yet based on the integrity and ecological justice, because national development places more emphasis on aspect of growth, equality, and stability, and economic development based on natural resources does not play attention to aspect of environmental sustainability. Problem number 3. Development that places economic aspect and as a physical development approach need to be changed in its formulation in order to produce an ideal policy that is related collectivity, responsive, participatory principle, and has morality principle. Saran suggestion problem 1, need to improve norm pasal 33 ayat 1 dan 2 in Undang-Undang Penataan Ruang, so that the arrangement of the regional special plan in adjust to the region special plan based on integration and ecological justice and national development. Problem 2, legislator sought in drafting legislation of special plan based on the principle of integration on ecological justice. Problem 3, it is necessary to perform the special plan law be complying or restricting and the protecting special planning policies based on the relation collectivity principle, the participatory responsive principle, and the principle of morality. Thank you. Before I finish, I want to say thank you for the kesempatan yang diberikan. Thank you, May. Thank you. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May, suaranya di-mute nggak sih? Suara?
All right. Thank you so much for Dr. Laksminarti for the informative presentation. Well now, ladies and gentlemen, actually now we have to move to the discussion session. But until now, I don't find the question from the audiences. It means that we have a very clear and informative presentation. We hope so. So I will skip the discussion session and let me read the conclusion from all keynote speaker, beginning from the first session until the end. The conclusion from Dr. Ying. Dr. Ying emphasized that Indonesian government need to learn from Taiwan to see concrete collaboration between the government, industry, and universities in developing a country either in any line, both in terms of economy, industry, science, and etc. Dr. Gamal informed us that ways to empower the mental health of the people is through inculcating spiritual values without denying other external factors such as psychological, environmental, social, education, and so forth. Professor Kusnanto also emphasized that innovation is increasingly essential for an effective response to a recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. So the planning for the post-COVID-19 pandemic future in nurse perspective are error and illusion should be expected. And of course, pertinent knowledge is critical. In addition, we need to teach the human condition to respect the earth citizenship, teach earth identity, confront uncertainties, understanding each other, and nurse must be skilled by the ethic of the human as a guide of their practice. Dr. Hoirul explained to us about the result of his research. He found that there is a significant positive effect of the use of graphic organizer through Schoology on students' writing skills. This finding also shows that there is a good level of student readiness during the use of LMS Schoology. Dr. Sigit told us learning from home impact as a response of COVID-19 pandemic and information technology availability on accounting students' understanding through e-learning implementation in Indonesia. Dr. Sigit research showed that the application of e-learning cannot be included in the learning process of accounting subjects because the dominance of accounting subjects require face-to-face learning design. This research also showed that the level of effectiveness of e-learning implementation due to the COVID-19 pandemic depends on the readiness of universities and students in optimizing the use of information technology in the learning process, especially for accounting students. Dr. Yusliza said that green human resource management have many advantages. They are to foster environmental and management practices, reducing environmental degradation, encouraging protection and renewal, improving efficiency, eliminating environmental waste, fostering green behavior, cost reduction, and as a human resources strategy that support pre-environmental corporate management. And the last speaker, Dr. Laksminarti, told us that regional spatial planning seen from the perspective of legal theory is not yet based on ecological integrity and justice because national development places more emphasis on growth aspect. So legislators should in drafting legislation on spatial planning based on the principles of integration and ecological justice. So that's it, the conclusion from all the keynote speakers. Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, we come to the end of session. We would like to say thanks again for all the keynote speakers for a productive and inspiring time together. Hopefully, the presentation will be beneficial for everybody as educator and researcher. Thank you for the host, Universitas Muhammadiyah Tasikmalaya, and all co-hosts who have been supporting this event. Thank you for all the keynote speakers. Dr. Hisliza, Dr. Laksminarti, Dr. Yiying, Dr. Gamal, and all the keynote speakers who has attended this international seminar, who I can mention one by one. So thank you for all the committee. Thank you for all participants for taking time out and being here. Thank you for your attention. Please accept our apologize if there are some inconveniences. Thank you for participating in today's seminar. We hope to see you again next time in the next event. Hatur nuhun, wilujeng tepang dari di acara salajengna. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Wabarakatuh.
Ilang salawasna lantaran salira nyian citra tegaan jeneng arke rasa rasa nu telas rasa nu tos lawas cinta gening ku tega anjeun tos ngayana mawang rasa nyerian cita nah anjeun ku tega meletakkeun ieu rasa.
Sebagai pengumuman kepada seluruh peserta seminar internasional, dimohon untuk mempersiapkan diri dalam acara parallel session. Parallel session akan dilaksanakan jam 1 siang. Dan dimohon kepada peserta yang belum mengupload video presentation bisa diupload mulai sekarang. Dan untuk tanya jawab presentasi bisa login ke sistem PVJ dengan akun masing-masing.
Sebelah sana.
Cek. Cek. Program selanjutnya adalah sesi paralel. Cek. Baik, bisa didengar dengan jelas ya. Program selanjutnya adalah mengikuti sesi paralel. Dimohon kepada peserta seminar belum mengupload video presentasi, dimohon untuk segera mengupload. Cek. Untuk sesi tanya jawab Cek. Bisa didengar dengan jelas ya? Sekali lagi saya informasikan bahwa agenda selanjutnya adalah sesi paralel yang akan dilaksanakan tepat jam 1 siang. Mohon untuk seluruh peserta mempersiapkan diri dengan mengupload video presentasi. Bagi yang belum mengupload video presentasi, dimohon untuk segera mengupload. Dan peserta untuk tanya jawab presentasi bisa login ke sistem PVJ dengan akun masing-masing. Terima kasih.
Di paparan sugan jaga endah mun laksana wengi asih nuduaan imut bagja tineng rasa aduh
Nyanyi nih mahasiswa kah? Nyanyi mahasiswa.
Dipapalerkeun teu beunang dibebenjokeun dipapareun sugan jaga endah mun laksana wengi asih duaan emut bagja tineu rasa dipapareun sugan jaga